Welcome back to Tech Circuit, the podcast where we talk about video games, tech news, PCs, and all things tech related. My name's Ben Tibbles. I am with the incalculable David Lee, and that was our theme song, Amber Mountain Zone, by the incomparable, I've already used that one, DJ X Sub N. Welcome back, everybody. We got a really cool show for you this week. A lot of cool things happening. David, take it away.
Yeah, this week we'll be talking about the Witcher 4 tech demo, the 9060 XT release, and the Switch 2 release too, with our product spotlight and our user circuit.
All right, let's dive right in because this is pretty cool. This is pretty flippin' cool. The tech demo for Witcher 4 has released. My dumbass thought it was Witcher 6 because I don't always remember Roman numerals. Why do we use them? I won't go off on a tangent, but why do we still use Roman numerals? I don't see any Romans around. They had their chance. Their numbers failed. Use modern numbers. Okay, David. The next installment of the Witcher series, Witcher 3, was one of the best RPGs of the 2010s.
Yes.
Did you play it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I couldn't believe I played it a little late. I was a little late to the game.
Me too.
But like when I found the systems, I was like, these look really modern. This is really nice. And the storytelling was incredible. Like every quest was, I felt like handcrafted and lovingly so.
It's not gameplay, right? This is a tech demo. It has a lot of cutscenes. It has a lot of cool stuff in it. And we did get to learn a good bit about what the story's gonna be like, right? We met oh gosh, what's the main character's name?
Ciri.
We met Ciri's horse.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, great. It's not Roach. Gonna miss Roach, but what are you gonna do? What should we be looking for? This is a big, highly anticipated launch. There have been other anticipated launches. Specifically, I'm thinking of Cyberpunk.
Oh my goodness. Cyberpunk's launch was a freaking joke. Yeah. I remember playing just to see the people T-pose and spawn from the middle of the air, drop down and T-pose their way walking. It was hilarious, man.
Well, see, that doesn't sound so bad. That sounds really fun, actually. And I'll go on to say, Cyberpunk had a rough launch, has come out the other side as one of the most highly regarded games in modern history.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely true.
So it definitely, came back. It I think you'd find very few people out there who would say they never went back to Cyberpunk because the launch was so terrible. It's not Anthem. Anthem had a terrible launch,
Anthem,
and it never recovered. They killed the server. They gave up on it. I can understand the concern that Witcher, for such an incredibly vast and intricate game, might fall into that same thing, but also because it's not multiplayer like Anthem was supposed to be, and because it's a more established title, I would expect that even if it had a bit of a rough launch, it's going to be a Cyberpunk. It's going to be one of those games that comes back from a rough launch. But
yeah. That was probably one of the best things they did, was make sure that Cyberpunk is at a great working state. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, if they gave up on Cyberpunk, I wouldn't even be interested in The Witcher 4. I'd be like, man, they're just going to mess up the launch again too, and they're not going to save it. But Cyberpunk was so great. Even if they mess up the launch, I might have to wait a bit, but I'd still play it probably.
Well, and the thing is like you said, I played The Witcher 3, but I played The Witcher 3 years after The Witcher 3 came out. I think I got it as one of the free PlayStation games.
Oh, wow.
Is I think how I ended up coming across it. And love the game. I don't know if I'll play Witcher 4 at launch. Especially a lot of these AAA games, I've got such a backlog of games now that I don't mind not playing something right when it drops for a few reasons. I got other stuff to play. Like, I got other games that I need to finish before I go on to this. I'm probably just going to restart Red Dead Redemption again, Red Dead Redemption 2 again, but I have other games that I need to play. So I don't need to go out and buy it right away. And I give it time to mature a little bit. I give them time to find bugs, fix bugs. I give time for DLC to come out. Like, that was my favorite part about playing Witcher 3 when I did, is I just had the DLC. I didn't have to like download the main game, then get the DLC and then play it all again or anything like that. So
yeah, I think that's part of the reason why Expedition 33 did so well, because people have such big backlogs. Like you're saying, like a shorter game is not the end of the world. It's actually even a boon.
I gotta say, even a year, 2 years ago, I would have disagreed. I would have said, like, that's silly. We're paying so much for a game. It needs to be many, many hours long. And like, even if the main story is only kind of long, there should be hundreds of hours of extras in everything. I should be able to sit down and play a $60, $70, $80 game for 100 hours and maybe like get everything.
Yeah.
But now I'm more in line with where you're at now. Tell us what you think down in the comments. Are games too long? Are there too short of games? Is it like, what's the perfect length for a video game?
Ooh, good question.
I think a talking point also is the trend of releasing unfinished games. Like AAA titles are releasing unfinished games, where indie companies are releasing perfectly great games that are fully built. And that's unfair for the AAAs to be able to release an unfinished game with that platform. I think that's an unfair trend, and it's harmful to the gaming community.
You know, I'd agree. And let us know what you think in the comments. I'd also say, though, I think that video game companies are starting to learn that. As we were talking about with the delays to GTA 6, it seems like the general consensus is people would rather wait a little longer for a more complete and polished game than get those incomplete games at launch and then have to like wait for update after update until the thing is finally playable.
Yeah, good point you bring up there.
Yeah, because
100% agree.
Yeah, we were just talking about
and Battlefield 5, great example, like came out, was trash. Servers were so bad. New No Man's Sky, horrible. Fallout 76, horrible. Like, and they all came back somehow. But it took time, and in that time, there's plenty of games that came out that I wanted to play, and there was no reason to go back to those when, you know. So I don't know. That's a huge debate.
You're hearing the voice of Nico, by the way. This is Nico's first appearance on the show. Nico, say hi to the folks at home.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So let us know your thoughts on Witcher 4. Let us know your thoughts on Witcher 3. I want to know, like, are you excited about this game because you loved Witcher 3? Are you not excited about this game? Like, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We've been talking about it for a little bit, but it is out now, the 9060 XT from AMD. What do we know?
Oh my God. So they are the clear value winner here. All right. Nothing is going to beat NVIDIA at the highest ends of performance. But when you get to the budget ends, there's no beating AMD. It has to be AMD, with the caveat, you know, no graphics card is like truly perfect. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, and the weakness of AMD's is the ray tracing and the frame generation a little bit. They have improved that significantly, but it's not quite enough to catch up to NVIDIA. And so I feel like the discussion is more like, what game do you play to recommend what GPU you want? Like, if you play PvP games, you're going to want a lot of like raw rendered strong frames, compared to if you play a lot of like gorgeous, amazing PvE games, you're gonna want like frame generation, things like that.
Yeah. Well, but that's the other thing is, like, as we've heard from our own audience, a lot of people don't trust frame generation. So that's kind of, I don't know if I would even call that a weakness. It's like a half point in the NVIDIA court. Like, at least they have the option, but I think many of our viewers and many gamers out there are just turning that option off anyway. But yeah, I mean, even as Razir said in our comments last week, 4K gaming, like the high end of gaming, is out of most people's like financial capabilities and even their tech capabilities. Like with AAA games, like Black Myth Wukong is a beast at max settings, even on a 50 series graphics card. So it seems like AMD is competing where more of the market is. And I think that's smart. I think, let NVIDIA chase that high end, because as we're also seeing, people are saying that the high end isn't that high, right? Like it's like it's powerful, but is it like actually that much more powerful than the 4090? Like kind of, there's not as clear of a opinion, I don't think. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we haven't quite made the jump to like 4K. I think 2K is kind of the sweet spot, which is where a lot of these graphic cards excuse me, will shine.
So
too.
Unprofessional. Oh my god.
Oh,
here we go.
In my lungs.
I think I got the black lung pop.
So I have a question for you. Is 8 gigabytes for a VRAM enough for gaming nowadays?
I think just like you were saying before, it depends on the type of game you're playing, because many games out there are saying 8 gigs is the minimum now, just like we had that creep up with RAM, with storage, with all those things, where like for a long time 512 gigs was the standard storage size for an SSD. For a long time that was what you saw, and now it's creeped up to like 1 terabyte, and now we're starting to even see more and more 2 terabytes out there. Same thing with RAM. RAM has been pretty solid at 16 gigs for a while, but I think we're getting to the point where we're starting to see more 32 gigs out there. That's becoming kind of the new baseline. I think 8 gigs is like, it might be on the way out as a baseline for GPUs, if it's not already past that. What are your thoughts?
You always want a little bit of headroom above the minimum requirements. And so 68 gigabytes being required as the minimum requirement is like, it's getting there. My 3070 Ti, man, it's just barely hanging on. It's struggling.
Cut to his computer, it looks like a jalopy. It's like
hang in there.
You have one of those hand cranks in the front to get it started. All right, let us know what you think about the 9060 XTs or AMD versus NVIDIA. Who has the market right now? Who has consumer confidence? Who's got the goods when it comes to GPUs right now? Throw Intel in there. Just to be nice. Be nice to them. All right, guys. Okay, good. Thought I canceled our recording for a second. There we go. All right. Stellar Blade.
We got a great promo for you guys here. You are going to get $10 off on the standard and complete edition for Stellar Blade. A quick story for Stellar Blade, for those of you who probably don't know. This game was so popular in Korea, the CEO gave every one of his employees a free PS5 Pro and $3,400 when that Christmas season came around.
That's crazy.
I know. I wish I was working for that CEO then.
Me too. or NVIDIA when they did their stock thing. That would have been fun. That would have been a nice...
The gameplay is good and the graphics look amazing. So I highly recommend that you try it out. If you go check it out on our links below, that you're going to see the promo code already applied for you right there. And it's not going to last forever. I'm not 100% sure when it'll last until. So be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. What kind of blade is it? Or what kind of blade? What kind of game is it? What kind of game is Stellar Blade?
It is an action RPG game where it's a lot like Souls-like, but a lot quicker, fast-paced. It has parry, perfect blocks, and the graphics look really nice. And there's a lot of outfits that you can put on your characters, and you go on this really great story. And a lot of those things kind of fit into place. And it's a medium-level game where it's like not going to take too long to complete, but there are a lot of great challenges, but it's not too short, so you're definitely going to get your money's worth that way.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. Get Stellar Blade, get $10 off in the link below, and tell us what you think of the game. I haven't played it, but I do love Souls-like games. So maybe I'll give it a shot. All right, everybody. One quick product in the spotlight this week. We have the ABS Cyclone Aqua gaming PC. This bad majama is powered by an Intel Core i5-13400F desktop processor, a Zotac Gaming GeForce RTX 4060 GPU, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD. Normally, this thing is about $1,000, but right now, it's $100 off. Plus, we have a promo code for an extra 10% off of that. So you can get this for just $809. That's a great price. It's almost $200 off. It's about a 19% discount. Make sure you check that out. We'll have it linked in the product description. Or if you're watching on YouTube, we'll just have it linked to the video. You can check it out there. We've got some great reviews and some okay reviews. I'll let you pause and zoom in if you want to. But overall, we have a 4.2 out of 5 eggs. Great rating. Remember, all of these are from verified purchasers. They're not random people just, rating bumping or rating bombing a product for no reason. The only 1 egg reviews that I saw came from components that were faulty, which happens when you buy pre-built gaming PCs. It is something to watch out for. It's something to test. Again, whenever you get a product, especially a product as complex and expensive as a pre-built PC, even though this is a great price on one, make sure you're checking it out thoroughly. Make sure you're putting it through its paces, and contact Newegg customer service immediately if there's any issues with it. Almost all of the reviews, 69% nice of the reviews say were 5 eggs, 5 out of 5 eggs, and they all said great working PC, great for the price, And this is one of those things where, like, the 13th gen Intel processors were solid. They may be the last generation that was that solid. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Maybe it was even before that. But the 13th is the last one I remember people being like jazzed about, like excited about the 13th, or at least not upset about it. But great price, great gaming PC. A 4060 GPU is not a bad gaming device at all, especially depending on the type of gaming you're doing. If you're doing 2K gaming or high refresh rate, lower resolution gaming, a 4060 will do you just fine. Have you taken a look at the deal?
Yeah, I really like this computer because it's going to solve the problem of having all your parts, building all your parts, right? You just get it ready to go right out of the box. It's a great entry-level computer where you're not going to have to worry about it for a while, right? It's not going to be the most amazing top-of-the-line computer, but for about, what is it, $800? That's amazing price to just get up and go and start going.
$800, and you've got a PC that you can start gaming with right out of the box. It's a pretty great deal. So check it out. We'll have it linked below, or we'll have it linked to the video. Okay. Now, here's those reviews that I was telling you I was going to show you. We'll have Tin put them up as a big graphic. You can pause if you want to read them, or you can just go to the product page, because like I said, I pulled all of these directly off the Newegg product page. So read the reviews for yourself, but solid gaming PC for an incredible price. All right. Next, we have the Switch 2.
Yes. It released at time of recording today, and a ton of my friends got it, and I'm so jealous. Luckily, we have one right here on our studio, right in front of us,
that our photographer Thad was kind enough to wait hours in line for. And Thad was telling me earlier he got there at around 8:15 p.m. to start waiting in line, and he said most people got there at like 8:30, and the line was hundreds of people behind him. Like he showed me the line leading up to the shop where he bought it or where he pre-ordered it, and I thought that was a long line. He was like, no. He was like, I was maybe 20% of the way down the line. Like, huge line. So people are obviously psyched. People are very excited about seeing what's next with Nintendo. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Nintendo has I was looking this up. They've never released like a successor. Like nothing has the number 2 next to their any of their products console wise. And so the Switch did so well, they were just like, we're just putting a 2 on it, calling it a day. They didn't even do that for the Wii and the Wii 2, right? They did the Wii U. And so I think that was a really smart decision that they made, and people recognize it. And like our photographer found out, people line up in the droves. What time did you get your Switch to? 10 o'clock? He
10
says
o'clock?
10 o'clock.
Okay, so not too long of a wait, couple hours, but still. That's, I mean, I remember back in, when people were camping outside of stores for the PlayStation 2. Like this is not a new phenomenon necessarily, but I do agree with you that it's worth mentioning that this is the first true, like, they did the Wii U, but they didn't call it the Wii 2. But this is the first like true sequel console, and I think with good reason. The Switch was revolutionary in a way that was bigger than the Wii, right? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I know for a confidence they're not gonna have the Switch 3, but this is probably the limit of the Switch's kind of reputation. There's nothing more revolutionary that's gonna come out, but that they're gonna make into a 3. They're gonna have it be something else.
You think?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know. Like some of the new features that they brought to the Switch 2, the mouse controls, things like that, I never saw coming. I wouldn't have predicted that. So, and if Nintendo's good at anything, it's surprising us with their consoles, right? Like, people thought the Wii was going to be a gimmick, and it was, but it was a very, very successful gimmick.
Oh yeah.
The Wii U less so. But I don't know. Do you think the Switch 2 will reach the same type of prestige that the Switch 1 did?
Probably not. Definitely not.
So?
No.
See, I'm going to disagree with. I'm sorry. Finish your thought. I apologize.
Nintendo's definitely going to have my money. Don't get me wrong. They will always have my money. All my money, right? They can have my mortgage, my car. I'm going to get all. I have to play their Pokemon games. They release great games at the end of the day, so I have to go for them. But it's not going to be. It's not revolutionary enough to have a Switch 3 by any stretch of the means. Like, there's only going to be like 1 or 2 games that utilize the mouse feature, and it's. I don't. You made a good point. The Wii is a great gimmick, but this one is not a great gimmick.
Yeah, but here's the thing. For me, the Switch was held back by a few things in its design, namely stick drift. People hate the Switch stick drift with great reason. It's incredibly frustrating. It makes playing games impossible sometimes. If that's fixed, if those little issues are fixed with the Switch 2, I don't know. I could see it being enormous. Do we need to cut? Okay. Let us know what you think about the Switch 2, about the Switch 1, about Nintendo in general, down in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Are you excited about the Switch 2? Did you get a Switch 2? We're going to be playing Mario Kart later in the studio, just giving it a try, seeing how it feels. I'm very intrigued by this open world Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So let's see. Also, what is the Nintendo game that makes you get the next Nintendo system? I know that you were saying Pokemon. For me, it's either got to be Mario Kart or Mario Party. I love Legend of Zelda. I still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom.
I had forgot that game. Wow. Yeah. That game is incredible too.
Case in point.
I remember my jaw dropping when I was playing that game.
Yeah. Nico?
I'd say I'm most excited for the sports games.
Oh?
I saw that there's actually the
wheelchair
thing.
basketball.
That is pretty interesting, especially since it adds a lot more accessibility to the accessible impaired.
Yeah. No, I mean it's I'm not sure if differently abled representation, right? Now not only can you play NBA basketball, there's a game for wheelchair basketball. And I think that's great. I think it's fun. I think it changes the mechanics a little bit, and especially if you're incorporating that gimmick of moving the wheels separately, I think that's a really interesting thing. I'd be interested to see if people adopt it, if people get excited about it. Could this be a new Rocket League?
I would love if a big IP could use that concept. That's where I would like to see it. The wheelchair does look a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, but it's
good. No more lies. He lies all the time on this show.
But the Assassin's Creed games got to use that, or like the next Halo games got to use that concept somehow.
Okay, yeah, let's see it. Let us know down below what your thoughts are on the Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah.
What was that thing called that last week that we did? Like copyright? Okay. David's copyrighted idea. Star Wars, you got to use that for your like racers, your like
the pod racers.
The pod racers.
Oh,
that would be all right. You can come to me for copyright because I own the rights to that.
And we all know how much everyone's been clamoring for another pod racer game. That's definitely super present. Nico, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say one of my favorite games was on the Wii Fit, and that impacted the whole society, as in like trying to get off their ass and actually exercise a little bit with the games. I'm excited to see what the Switch 2 will provide, or what it might
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who actually lost a lot of weight just doing Wii Fit stuff with like the ring.
Oh wow,
the Wii ring.
Oh yeah, the ring. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right, so next up, let's see if this. Oh, there's our guy. Look at him go. Now it's time for the YO user circuit. Do you want to start us off there?
All right, Sleepy Silva says, first off, Ben, that hoodie is so sick. Last week,
that's a Mr. Meeseeks hoodie, and it's one of the coolest things that I got from Loot Crate. I was a member of Loot Crate for like 3 years, and mostly I realized like you're just paying for a box of extra stuff to show up at your house every month, and I can't do that. I got too much stuff as it is. But that hoodie, worth the whole thing. Thanks, Sleepy Silva.
Also, a Steam Deck is something I'm really interested in, but have not really heard anything about the quality. Just that it's PC games on the go. Would you two recommend? What do you think, Ben?
My buddy has a Steam Deck and loves it. To me, if it works well, which tell me in the comments, I haven't looked much to see what the reviews in general are for the Steam Deck, but it seems like it works pretty well, and it seems like it gives you the ability to play all your PC games or most of your PC games on the go or on your TV or many things like that. So I personally sounds super worth it to me.
Yeah, I think it depends for me. Like if you're really into indie games or really into games that are much older, like retro games, that Steam Deck is going to be absolutely perfect for you.
Yeah,
because it can't just handle like the latest AAA games.
Yeah. My buddy plays a lot of Warframe on it.
Oh,
which is very cool game. Very if you like Destiny, but you want something that's a little more indie, a little more cool and different, check out Warframe. Completely free game. King1231563 says, bro, who is the winner of the SSD and PC giveaway? Bro, check out Newegg's Twitter. That's where we announce all the winners. Sometimes I make videos about who wins. Sometimes I don't have time. But check out the Newegg Twitter. That's where we announce all the winners to all the giveaways and things like that. So, but if you were a winner, we would have contacted you by now. So did we? Out there, if you've won anything from Newegg, let us know in the comments. I want to hear from you.
You had to practice saying that name. How did you say those numbers so fast?
Oh, I have experience reading a teleprompter, so I can usually kind of turn off any delays between the eyes and the speech, and I can just kind of read. I don't know what I'm saying, but I can read it pretty
That's
easily.
Great. Read and Respawn 77 says, sometimes I feel like the genie from Aladdin itty bitty living space, I've had to get creative with how I set up my monitors. They're angled a little weird. I usually game on the smaller screen and have movies or something else running on the bigger one. I'm definitely using my PS5 controller to game on my PC, and it's pretty much plug and play for most Steam games. There's also PS5.
That's true. Read and Respawn, because you remember they had their monitors like set up at a 90
Yeah,
degree
from
angle.
last week.
Very, very interesting arrangement there. And then, of course, we have Razier, who once again gave us a novella. XP was the UI. This was the point when Windows development peaked. It was light, usable, and not bogged down by telemetry. Great word, telemetry. PC handhelds are going to become more popular as faster, more efficient APUs make it possible to play full-fledged AAA games outside of the traditional desktop laptop. Microsoft knows that Steam OS and Linux in general pose a threat to Windows now that people are beginning to see the performance differences. The only thing holding back mainstream adoption is kernel level anti-cheat with online multiplayer games. Once that problem gets solved, there's going to be much less incentive to stick to Windows for gaming. I think primary reason for Switch's success is Nintendo exclusives rather than portability, but Nintendo has other advantages in most of their titles that aren't graphically demanding, which is more suitable for mobile hardware. It's a good point. Google's Notebook LM is pretty impressive, but also terrifying tool. You can upload content to it and it'll automatically generate a podcast featuring 2 AI hosts talking about it in an eerily convincing manner. Good thing we're not AI hosts.
AI.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
If AI eventually learns to make us sandwiches, I think that's when we need to start preparing for the impending singularity. I think we're already on that slope.
Definitely on that slope.
All right, guys, for our PC builds this week, we got a couple really cool ones. This first one is from William B. I don't know why I love this so much. Part of it is obviously the display within the PC case itself, but there's something about the white lighting, the clean layout that I just think is very, very impressive.
Yeah, it looks almost futuristic in my eyes.
Yeah.
I love the exact color of white. I know that I'm not I can't tell all the different shades of color all the time, but like this is like a pearl white.
I would say it's more of a eggshell
white,
maybe a mother of pearl.
mother of pearl. I like that one. And just the tint, right?
Yeah, just a hue. Very cool. William B, thank you for submitting that to our email. And coming after that, we have Troubadour, who I don't know if you spelled that incorrectly on purpose or not, but I really like it. It makes it seem more like a D&D character. Troubadour, rather than someone who sings pretty beautifully.
With the dual lights on the computer, I really like the contrast there to give it a little bit more life. And the screen there is showing looks like the 80s themed kind of synth.
This is all kind of vaporwave.
Yeah,
synthy. I really like it. I love the light up cables going into the motherboard. I think that's very cool. Just Troubadour, all in all, very sick design, very cool
well
PC.
Done.
Tons of airflow in there. I mean, we're looking at 10 fans. And that the rear fan looks like it could be like a 140 too. It looks beefy. All right, everybody. That is our show for another week. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you're following us on YouTube at Newegg Studios. Make sure you're following us on Blue Sky, Twitter at Tech Circuit Podcast. And remember, you can get this podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Acast, almost anywhere you get your podcasts. David, any parting thoughts for the folks at home?
Mom and Dad, if you're watching, I promise I'll call you for Mother and Father's Day.
You heard it here, folks. That's a promise. Everybody, I'm Ben Tibbles.
I'm David Lee.
We'll see you next time. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.